Hi, this is Jimmy here. Recently I was listening to a very famous and somewhat controversial New Testament scholar by the name of N.T. Wright, and he was talking about what the gospel is. And he says most Christians go to church every Sunday, and they think they're going to church to get some good advice on how to live your life. How so you can be a better husband, how you can be a better leader, how you can overcome some financial struggles and some dirty habits and, some other, difficulties that you're having in your life. And he says most preaching that's called gospel preaching, centers around giving nuggets of wisdom and little stories on how you can better live your life. And he's like, that's all fine and good. However, that's not gospel preaching. He says that's good advice. And he says there's a difference between good advice and preaching good news. The truly awesome thing about the gospel is that it is more than just good advice, according to N.T. Wright. Rather, instead of being good advice and merely good advice, the gospel is instead good news. The gospel is the good news story and proclamation about how God came to earth, died on a cross, and came back to life after 3 days, and how, as a result of that death is no longer the final arbiter in this life, that it no longer has the final answer, that it no longer has the final say, but that instead death can be overcome. And now that we have this story, this good news proclamation that Jesus Christ came back to life, now we get the privilege and opportunity to live our lives out in light of the fact that death is defeated and death no longer has the upper hand, and that Jesus Christ ultimately overcame the grave, and that Jesus Christ is still alive even to this day. That's the story of good news. That is something you can live your life around, and that is something that goes beyond just good advice.